A lot of new printers come with a PEI build plate from the factory, but a lot still don't. If yours didn't and you're trying to decide whether to buy one for your existing printer, or if you're trying to decide whether to buy a new printer that comes with a PEI build plate from the factory, stick around while we explore the pros and cons of a PEI build plate to help you decide whether you should buy one or not and whether it's worth it. Let's dive in. 3D printers come with several types of build plates out of the box, from glass to different types of coating on glass to spring steel and different types of coating on that spring steel. The one we're talking about today is a PEI magnetic flexible build plate. Probably the most important thing to consider when you're deciding which build plate to use is adhesion. You want to find a good build plate that sticks well enough to complete your model successfully, but then also to not damage it while you're removing it from the plate. If your bed loses adhesion halfway through the print, then you'll end up with a failed print and most likely a spaghetti monster. What? No, not that kind of spaghetti monster, this spaghetti monster. On the other end, if the print sticks too well and you can't get it off the plate, you can actually damage both the plate and your model while trying to take it off. It can be an extremely frustrating process trying to pry that thing off, and it can make you want to throw your printer right out the window. Ask me how I know. Here's an example of damage that occurred to one of my prints when I was trying to get it off the build plate. It was stuck too well, and no matter how hard I tried to remove it gently, it still peeled up the entire bottom layer in big chunks. Enter the Goldilocks zone. A magnetic, flexible PEI build plate is about the best of both worlds as you can get right now. It offers great adhesion to keep your print in place while printing and easily releases after the plate cools down with just a little flex to keep you from damaging your print while removing. However, nothing's perfect, so let's take a look at the pros and cons of a PEI build plate to help you decide whether it's worth your money to invest in one. There really are a lot of pros with a PEI build. First, it's easy to install and use. If your printer already has a magnetic bed like on the Creality Ender series, all you have to do is remove your old build plate and put the new PEI build plate right in its place. If your printer didn't have a magnetic bed, most PEI sheets include a magnetic pad to place down on your solid surface. In my printer's case, it was a glass bed with a coating on it, so I just installed the magnetic pad right over top of the glass bed, made sure it was installed smoothly with no bubbles or wrinkles, and that gives you a fully magnetic surface to put the PEI build plate on top of that. Just don't forget, anytime you change a bed, or especially when you're adding the magnetic pad, to re-level and reset your Z offset to make sure your printer doesn't crash. The second pro with PEI build plates is that it works great with most common filaments. It works excellent with PLA, PETG, and ABS. The only caveat there is that PETG does require to add a little bit of glue stick. You're adding the glue stick to form a barrier so that the PETG doesn't stick too well to the PEI. Here's just a few examples of how easy it is to remove a print from a PEI build plate. Another pro is a lot of the PEI build plates are like this one that I got from Amazon, where you have a textured side and a smooth side. That gives you the ability to choose which side you'd like to print on. The textured side will obviously give a nice textured finish to your product if that's what you'd like, or you can flip it over and use the smooth side, and that'll give you a super smooth finish on the bottom of your print. This also gives you the ability to test around and play with which materials like which side better as well. So even if you're not worried about the aesthetics, you can still test to see if certain filaments stick better to the smooth side or to the textured side. Now let's take a look at the downsides of PEI. PEI is a little more expensive than the other alternatives, but as more and more printers start to use them from the factory, the overall cost is going down and down because there are more PEI sheets being sold. You can also get some really good deals on PEI sheets from Amazon and AliExpress. There is a link in the description of the one that I purchased for my FL Sun Super Racer. So if you have one of those and haven't upgraded your bed yet, I highly recommend that. Another downside with PEI is if you do print a lot with TPU. If you print a lot with TPU versus PLA, PETG, ABS, or others, you may want to skip PEI altogether or buy a separate build plate just for your TPU. The problem is that it sticks so well to the PEI that you actually can't get the prints off. Once they're stuck, you're definitely going to damage your model, and it may actually rip the PEI off the metal plate itself, and that would ruin your print bed and lead to you having to buy a new one. The only real and safe way to use TPU is to fully insulate it from the PEI with either painter's tape or Kapton tape, just to completely insulate the TPU and the PEI away from each other. So, is the PEI build plate worth it? In my opinion, it absolutely is. It reduced my frustration level with printing, probably more than anything else has, even as I learned more and more about printers and printing different models and different materials. The PEI Build Plate has been the biggest help of anything that I've come across. Having a double-sided versus a single-sided plate is personal preference. I went with the two-sided so I can try different materials with different sides, but just having to reach down, flex the plate a little bit, and the print pops right off with no issue, no damage, and no other problems has been literally a game changer with my 3D printing. Question of the day. What kind of videos would you like to see here on the Layer Shift channel? Please drop your comments in the description and I'd love to hear from you, and I'll definitely respond to all of your suggestions. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're ready for more, check out this short above me to see a trash can that I designed from scratch, printed, and now use on a daily basis. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.